Hello and welcome to another episode of the In Discussion series. This week I have with me Merina, who has been on board for the last couple of collections, helping with linking and some great design advice. Thank you very much for being here.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you very much.
So when I first asked you to come on board and work with me, and this was actually for the previous collection, what were your thoughts?
When I've been doing freelancing, I've been working with smaller independent brands. In your case, I've never actually worked with a fellow knitwear designer. Like that was, first of all, like I was like, oh, that would be really great. I have a feeling that it's going to be almost easier in a way, in certain ways, to work with another knitwear designer. When I looked into your work, I really like the fact that it's fully knitwear, gender neutral, focusing on that, and you don't actually see that a lot other knitwear brands. And then like there was like a lot of things that like our values are very same, like sustainability and like high quality product. I would say that those things popped up to me, you know.
What's been great from my side is having that extra voice, somebody that does understand the process, does understand some of those technical issues, and you've been very good in the responses. And when something hasn't quite gone how it should with a pattern, it's been really easy to then discuss, oh, I understand now how to go back and fix that. So that's been really useful from my side as well. So of the whole experience, and this might be from working with the last collection or it might be this one, what's been the best experience for you?
Well, actually, like what you just said, you felt like where I could give like some of my tips or like recommendation, or like, oh, what do you think if we would do this this way? And like, you know, I really like the fact that, you know, you were open to that. I felt like I could like truly put my own input in it, that it wasn't just feeling like that you would have been constantly like, you know, holding my hand and like, you know, oh, this is how it goes like this. It was like, I felt like there was a lot of flexibility and like freedom and stuff, and like there wasn't any pressure, and like you were so easy to work with, communicating and everything. I think that overall it was like I didn't have that kind of, like I said, pressure. If I would give my own suggestions, first place we were like going to do it this way, you know, like let's say a trim or a seam, and then I would realize that, oh, maybe it doesn't work this way, or, you know, that it's not gonna look too bulky or something like this. And if I would suggest something else, you were very happy to be like, oh yeah, you know, like you trusted my work. Yeah, I think that was amazing. You know, I felt trusted, and like I could put my input in your work in a way that I felt I could fully use my experience and knowledge and everything, you know.
That's one of the things that I think is really important to me, and I hope to new creatives as well, that knowing how the industry operates and how toxic it can be, I don't want to then perpetuate that energy with other people I work with, and keeping in mind that I'm still learning just as much as other people are. And so there are things I don't know, and having that experience and that insight is really useful. And I think if people shut that off, they are then worse off for that. Their own creations are not going to be as interesting or exciting the next time round. I'm constantly learning from myself as I'm doing the things I'm doing. So then to have that input from other people, I think is really valuable. So I'm very pleased to hear that you've enjoyed that and had that thought as well.
Yeah.
So thinking about that, a nice segue here, is there anything, and again, this might be from all of the pieces that you've worked on, it might be something specifically from the most recent collection. Are there things that you think I could have done differently?
In my case, where, and like, you know, we obviously met quite often to like kind of drop off things, you know, you would drop me new pieces to like put together and everything, and then I would give you the ones that I had already made. And I, you know, in those situations, we obviously always very quickly kind of went through, or what do you have for me? And like if there was some of the pieces that I had to like show you something that I had done differently or whatever, I did say it like that, oh yeah, you know, just because how my brain works, and like it's gonna, you know, like often we also met in the morning where it's like even more, I feel like, you know, brain is a bit frazzled. You know, when you gave me kind of like the technical information, some of it would just go in and go out straight away. So I think the only kind of was like to have like some kind of like written, I think, like black and white. Most of the stuff was obviously like very common sense, and, you know, where you can see normal seams like side seams, underarm seams or whatever, but trims or when there's like certain measurements, I think those things. But then again, because like I felt sometimes bad to like re-ask it, like, so some of the things like multiple times to like, I know you're busy and stuff, but then you're always very helpful to like kind of obviously give the information I needed, and like it was very easy to communicate. So it's like it was more like, I think, if I would have had it all in black and white, I would have not needed to like constantly message like, so how is this thing? And it's not like it's a minor thing, I would say. It's not like a big flaw or anything. I can't think of anything else, because I felt like everything just went so smoothly to be
most of the time.
I think so. Most of the time.
It's good insight though. I think I sometimes get into my head and just not quite assume people will know, but I forget sometimes that they don't have like all of the information that I have readily, that I've been working with for 2 weeks or however long it's been. I actually think back to the yellow dress, the big statement one from the last collection. That was probably one where that became really evident, because it was very technical even for me. And so then to hand that over and just kind of say, oh yeah, it goes where I pinned it. And looking back, I'm like, oh, actually, that wasn't quite as useful as it could have been. So I really appreciate that insight, because that's something that I would like to then be able to do better. Is if it doesn't make sense to me or it's difficult for me, of course, it's then going to be difficult for somebody else that hasn't been doing it for however long. And that's something that's really easy to incorporate and be able to utilize for future use as well. Because you had unique experience now probably working with me for the longest. Would you recommend other people to work with me?
Yeah, I mean, definitely, because it was so flexible and easy to like communicate with you and everything. Like I said, there was that like haunting feeling of like deadline or something. You were just so like amazingly flexible. Like I was even like putting myself in your place in few situations, and I was just saying something that, oh yeah, sorry, I haven't been able to do this or that for a little while, like when I got busy with my own work. And I had your work like on the side, and I always felt like really guilty of like it was kind of looming there, your work, and I was like, I know it's there, but like when I had some of my own work where the deadline was like sooner, for example, and I knew that you're flexible, it's still like hard for me to even ask, but again and again, like to kind of say that no, it's fine, and like it was just so amazing to, you just had so much understanding. I think a lot of people lack that, like, well, especially when it's like your brand, your work and everything, and you're doing everything, and like, oh, I have this photo shoot coming up for the collection. You seemed so calm and every time when I saw you or in your messages and stuff.
Outwardly.
Like showing like no stress at all. So I was like, I can learn from you. Like it's amazing, to see.
There was a lot on the inside, because I don't believe in passing on my anxieties, my stress that is not for somebody else to deal with. That's my role. So I'd like, in the capacity of working with others, presenting with honesty, definitely, but kind of not putting that onto other people's shoulders when it's not their responsibility. So I'm glad that kind of you didn't feel any of that energy. I can project calmness at the very least. And I agree with you as well about the notion of being flexible sometimes. And it's absolutely fine. I'm the same if I've got people that want things earlier and I'm working on other things take a back seat. That's just the natural way of things. But it would also be nice, as you say, that if there was a broader understanding of that, if other people had that same connection or understanding, empathy, I suppose, is another way of thinking about it.
That's just think that you had such a professional way of dealing with everything, I think.
So lastly, then, thinking about just this most recent collection, and you've got insight, knowledge, having finalized those pieces, do you have a favorite piece?
I would say that definitely is it shark dress?
Yes.
Yeah. I think that was probably one of the last ones I finished before handing and everything. I just think that it was something that I haven't seen before. I really love, the open front and back, that you can wear it without anything underneath or then a top underneath. Amazing piece, like showstopper piece.
I would like to do more of that, I think, moving forward. So it'll be interesting to see what pieces are in any future work as well. Well, thank you so much for your support, your continued support. We'll more than likely, I hope, continue to work together.
I'm sure,
and that would be great to see kind of how that continues to unfold.
Yeah, me too.
Thank you for joining us this week, and make sure to check out Merina's work, and also make sure to check out the next episode when that goes live. Thanks. Bye.
Bye.